What's up, everybody? It's your boy. This is a joke I heard from comedian Brian Regan. I was driving the other day, and you see weird things, and I've never understood log trucks. I saw two log trucks the other day pass each other on the highway, and it's like, well, if they need logs, and they need logs, you'd think a phone call could save a lot of trouble. AKA Reed from Shameless Nerd. Today's video is about the future of technology and the future of humanity. If you end up liking this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. You can also join these beautiful people on the screen right now by clicking the join button. You'll get exclusive access to some members-only videos as well as access to every video a few days early. You can also join the Shameless Nerd Discord at the link in the description, and you can email me with any questions, comments, concerns, or creative insults at readfromshamelessnerd@gmail.com. And one more thing, for the first time ever, this video is sponsored. Y'all, I am getting paid by a company to ramble on the internet. If I can do that, then anything is possible. Never give up on your dreams. There is hope for the future. Thank you, UPDF, for sponsoring this video. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's get into it. I have a book. This book is called A Guide to Microwave Cooking. It was published in 1981 at the peak of the onset of the popularization of the microwave, which was invented in the 1940s to more humanely reanimate cryonically frozen hamsters and is often miscredited as being invented by the patent holder Percy Spencer in 1945, but that's a true story for another time. In the 1970s, the microwave oven began to explode in popularity after a couple decades of being prohibitively expensive as technology improved and being targeted mostly at commercial kitchens. Throughout the 70s, the microwave oven went from a giant, bulky $2,000 gimmick to a compact, multifaceted tabletop device that became a staple in one of every 4 houses by 1986. There are now microwaves in 9 of every 10 houses in America. During the 80s boom in popularity of the microwave oven was touted as a miracle device of sorts, and of course, it was. Imagine being around during this time, being handed a magic box that can, without even seemingly getting hot, heat a frozen lasagna to an edible temperature in 5 minutes, when up to this point, the only option was to throw it in the oven and wait an hour. It was mind-blowing. And if you think about it enough, it still is mind-blowing. Using non-ionizing electromagnetic radiation similar to a radio wave to nearly instantly provide you with plastic garbage to eat. And in the 80s, the microwave was new and even more exciting, and it was touted as like the final frontier of home cooking. The microwave was the oven of the future. In this book, A Guide to Microwave Cooking, on the second page, they have an entire ham in there. This book is full of recipes for microwave cooking that are absolutely unhinged. I will give you some examples. Page 34 is titled Shellfish and has 5 recipes involving lobster, oysters, escargot, and clams. A recipe for seafood Newburg, green peppers stuffed with salmon, meatloaf, Swedish meatballs, stuffed flank steak, beef short ribs, shrimp oriental. I don't even think I'm supposed to say that one anymore. 217 pages of recipes to cook in the microwave. About 800 total recipes, 750 or so of which no person in their right mind would ever use in 2025. New England corned beef. Like, imagine. I bought this book a few years ago at a thrift store because I thought it was funny, an interesting look at like what we used to think, a novelty to put on the coffee table when people come over. But throughout my radicalization over the past year or so regarding social media, dopamine deficiency, artificial intelligence, all this stuff I'm constantly talking about on this channel, 1981's A Guide to Microwave Cooking has become a perfect encapsulation of my overall thoughts on technology and the future. In 1981, they really thought that the future included making an entire pot roast in the microwave. The innovation of modern technology made this possible. You could take a beef tenderloin, which would take 45 minutes to roast in the oven, and do it in the modern marvel that is the microwave in 12. It's way more convenient. It's faster, it's less messy, it's a far simpler process, and either way, when you sit down for dinner with your nuclear family after attending Catholic Mass, you will be eating an edible, perfectly American beef tenderloin. The difference between the two is that one will be good and the other will be made in a microwave. And despite the viability of making a beef tenderloin in the microwave, despite the convenience and the speed and the ease, in the 44 years since the publication of this book, people have all but entirely abandoned the idea that microwave cooking is the cooking of the future. Nowadays, we use the microwave for Hot Pockets, White Castle burgers, easy mac and cheese, and leftovers. We have found a use for the microwave. Everyone has one. We use them all the time. They're a handy tool. They've made our lives easier and more convenient. But they are unequivocally not the all-encompassing one-stop shop of the kitchen that people were promised in the 1970s and 80s. And thank God, right? My point is this, and then I'll stop talking about microwaves. Innovation is cool. It's great. The lifespan 100 years ago was 47 years. But not all innovation is necessary. Not all innovation is worthwhile. Not all innovation is solving a problem. Many innovations are creating problems to solve and then doing a shitty job of solving them in the first place. We don't need to cook a pot roast in 12 minutes. It's so much better in the oven after 45. And sure, we're technically sacrificing 33 minutes, but if you've ever attempted to eat the rubber that comes out of the microwave if you try to cook beef in there, you'd give up far more than 33 minutes for the alternative. So before I get into what will absolutely be by far the most impassioned and long-winded diatribe so far on this channel, I want to make clear for anyone watching this video in the metaverse on their Oculus Quest while you use AI to write you a song about the genius of Elon Musk or whatever, that I am not anti-technology. I am not anti-innovation. I am not interested in living off the grid in the woods. I am not anti-productivity or efficiency or technological advancement. In fact, the sponsor of this video is UPDF, which is a damn PDF editor with AI integration, and I convinced them to let me put the ad in this seemingly pretty counterintuitive space for a PDF editor with AI features to be, because I think stuff like UPDF is a really good example of what I'm not talking about. Okay, 90 seconds on the clock. Let's do the first ever Shameless Nerd ad spot. I love y'all so much. Thank you for watching my channel, making this possible. All of my dreams are coming true. This is the craziest thing I've ever done. Literally, it does not feel real. I was dissociating as I wrote the script. Firstly, and most importantly, UPDF is an alternative to Adobe Acrobat that costs 1/6 of the price. Adobe is one of the most evil and horrible companies that there is. They're the original harbingers of the subscription model apocalypse, and I'm happy to report that unlike Adobe, UPDF offers a lifetime license if you don't want to have another subscription. Adobe, more like don't be. UPDF has a bunch of the expected features of a quality PDF editor like digital signatures, annotation tools, adding password protection, all of the things that you need in a PDF editor. But what's cool about UPDF is the stuff that you didn't know that you need. For example, I am a middle school teacher. I'm constantly trying to do stuff with old PDF quizzes and activities I've had for 5 years, and I have no idea where they even came from. And watch this. All that I have to do to change this is click on it and start typing. It will match the font even. I don't even know that's possible. Or this, I can take the image from this and save it by itself as a picture. What the hell? Where has this been? But the coolest thing about UPDF is the AI assistant. For example, I have this PDF from a ROM hack called Pokemon Emerald Seaglass. It's 27 pages long and has all kinds of data about encounters and QOL improvements and everything. And watch this. This is insane. It's like having an assistant, but they're a trillion times smarter than you instead of constantly messing up your coffee order. Just imagine this for like an essay or a dissertation or experiment or perhaps like researching for a YouTube video. So a bunch of cool features, cooler, more customizable UI, 6 times cheaper than, and a nice middle finger to Adobe. Thank you so much to UPDF for sponsoring this video. Click the link in the description to get started with UPDF for free and to support my channel so maybe I can get some more sponsorships, you know what I'm saying? Okay, let's complain about technology. We are at a crossroads. There are several counter arguments that people make when I talk about my opinion on like generative AI regulation or teaching with technology in schools or things like CRISPR and Neuralink and the sort of potentially dystopian future I think is plausible if we don't have some hard conversations right now. And they are as follows. Number one. Well, people have always said this. They said this about the printing press. What about professional scribes? What will they do for work? Video killed the radio star. Netflix was going to kill the movie theaters. The microwave was going to replace the oven, right? Well, yes, sort of. People have always made the argument that the younger generation is straying from the idealized, wholesome world of the past and replacing it with fast fashion and convenience and losing the magic and importance of a simpler life. Socrates famously warned against writing because it would, quote, create forgetfulness in the learner's souls because they will not use their memories. This argument is perpetual and has always existed. My counter-argument to this argument is as follows. It's always right? Like it's always right. Like there is empirical proof that our brains have been physically changed because of books. Our long-term memories have been affected, and things like Beowulf being an oral story passed down by generations of storytellers who remembered the whole thing are impossible now because books took that from us. The printing press did make books less special and meaningful. Recorded video did make books less popular. Fewer people read books than ever. That's not an old person's conjecture. That's demonstrably true. Video did eventually kill the radio star. The internet did kill MTV. Netflix kind of sort of did kill the movie theater. These things are true. The actual argument should be that these things are a casualty of progress, not that they didn't happen. The argument is that video may have killed the radio star, but having video is worth killing the radio star. And if you can agree to that subtle difference in the argument, then I have a counter argument, which is Generative AI is not the same as a printing press. This really is the first time that a technology innovation is so potentially disruptive that we must take the Socrates argument seriously. After this video, go look up what ChatGPT 5 can do. It released August 7th. I'm not even going to entertain an argument to the contrary until you see what is happening. Generative AI, as in prompting an LLM to create something from nothing, and it's not from nothing, it's from a nearly infinite database of human works that have been used to train the LLM without the human creator's consent, which is a whole other conversation. Prompting an LLM to make something for you. This is not the same thing as the ability to take a written book and print it at scale, or the new ability to make a music video. We can't treat generative AI, and I keep specifying generative AI because I do believe that there's a place for AI, and I don't believe in some fairy tale blanket ban of AI, or that it doesn't have use cases that are awesome, like in medicine, or in data analysis, or in a PDF editor, for example. We can't treat generative AI like we've treated other technological innovations because it, for the first time, is something categorically different than anything previously imaginable by humankind. ChatGPT 5 can create a functioning planet simulation for you with a 2-sentence prompt. So my response to counterargument number 1 is that, sure, people have always said,
"Oh, these kids are ruining the world with their participation trophies in their video games."
but this is a different thing. Number 2. Well, AI is a tool that will democratize the creative process. Not everyone has the ability to become a painter, or a writer, or a movie director. AI is a tool that allows access to everyone. This is a really common argument as well, which sounds really good. My response to this is very simple. Yes, they do. Like, yes, you do. That's the entire purpose of art. Everyone does have the ability and access to become a painter, a writer, a music producer, a movie director. If you want to do that, you can absolutely do that. Nothing has a lower bar to entry than art, especially now with actual tools that can actually facilitate creative endeavor. GarageBand is free on your MacBook. You have a camera on your phone that shoots in 4K, an iMovie on your computer for free. Blender is a 3D animation software that is completely free. You can make an entire video game within Roblox, a free video game on your Xbox. The argument for drawing or painting is even dumber. There is nothing more widely accessible in a modern first world country than a piece of paper. To claim that the barrier to entry is too high for art is just disingenuous at best. It's just not true. You can be an artist if you want to, you just don't want to. And importantly, generative AI isn't a tool to make you an artist anyway. Prompting AI to paint a picture for which you have an idea in your head is not the same thing as painting the picture. Prompting it to make a song about blank in the style of this artist with elements of this other artist isn't writing a song. It's not a tool for anything. It's just an end. It's not even a means to an end. It's just an end. Number 3, this is what accelerationists actually believe. Even if your pretend world in which AI takes everyone's jobs were to come true, the world would be idyllic because it would just free us time to do what humans were meant to do, to make stuff, to farm, to be with our families and friends. We'd have the time to get back to what's really important. And my counter, if the romantic purpose of AI is to free us from the shackles of capitalism and the 5-day work week, I'd be all for it. So long as the result is us having the freedom to pursue creative passions and spend time in the real world with our loved ones. But that is not the case. This future is one where AI is creating, like Netflix has said explicitly that they're pursuing, procedurally generated, interest-based, individualized AI TV and movie programming. This future is one where music is produced by AI artists like The Velvet Sundown or FN Mecca, both of which have millions of plays across music platforms, who could play multiple concerts at the same time in multiple places, stay young and attractive, who could, most importantly, work for free forever. The art, music, movies, TV, video games, books, and podcasts of this future wouldn't be made by us. They'd be made by the same corporations they're made by now, except we wouldn't be included anymore. This romanticized homesteader-ass version of the AI future is just not realistic. If we were in pursuit of more time for art, one of the primary focuses of AI investment and research wouldn't be how to get it to make better art. Number 4. I have a really good friend who's far more AI positive than I am, who I love and who I respect very much. And he presented this to me, which I do think might be the best argument I've heard. He said, there will always be a place and a market for human-made art in the same way that there right now is still a market for like handmade pottery or crocheted blankets on Etsy. The market may be more like niche and specific, but the AIification of art would create a world that actually places a higher value on human-made art because it would become like a artisan, boutique sort of thing. And I've thought about this a lot because at first it really did kind of stump me, but I think my response is this. I think that is a really nice silver lining, right? Like, I think that I agree that worst case scenario, human-made things, even like human-made video games compared to a video game generated by an artificial intelligence, human-made things will always have a place because, like I talked about in my first video about AI, we can feel the difference, and there is humanity and importance in that difference, and people will always want to feel that difference. However, is this the future that we want? Like, accepting this as a positive feels a lot more like looking on the bright side than an actual advocacy for the existence of this future. I mean, I get it. Like, my family owns an Italian restaurant. We didn't go out of business when Olive Garden came around, right? Walmart didn't kill the designer clothing brand, but do we need Olive Garden? Do we need a McDonald's to the mom and pop burger shop of art and music? Is that a thing that anybody really wants? Our food, our clothes, our cars, our consumer products are all already the cheapest, shittiest, quickest possible slop options, and we have the expensive alternatives to all of these. Do we need that to be applicable to the art we consume also? Or can this not be the only industry that we keep that philosophy away from? Because even that's not entirely true already. The #1 song of 2024 was I Had Some Help by Post Malone and Morgan Wallen, an Avengers-ass amalgamation of a song by a white rapper turned indie artist and a racist castaway turned country pop star. It's not like we need AI to make our music simpler and dumber and more one-size-fits-all. We're already there on our own. And before I get to my final point, I want to make one more observation. This doesn't really fit into any like counter-argument kind of framework, so just on its own, this is a thought I had in a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, actually. I think one of the main differences with AI is that generative AI feels truly like valueless if you think about it for more than 10 seconds, with the only meaningful application of it being the replacement of human endeavor. It's not a tool that's aiding in advancing creative industry because we can already do, with our current tools and processes, literally anything that we want to do, creatively or consumer product wise. Innovation in technology created huge leaps, for example, in what was possible on like the Nintendo 64 compared to the Super Nintendo, or the PS3 compared to the PS2, or in movies like the advancements in CGI and special effects compared to like Jaws or E.T. and Avengers Endgame, right? Like, these are massive jumps in capability. But when you compare the PS5 to the PS4, the biggest difference, the $300 difference, is frame rate and loading times. What I mean is this: we are already at the most impressive, amazing, cutting-edge boundary technology's potential assistance in facilitating the imagination of the human brain could possibly ever get to. There is genuinely, already, not exaggerating, nothing that is impossible in terms of video, visual art, music, movies, video games. There is nothing that is impossible. There is no idea that is prohibitive. There is no technological innovation, be it AI or otherwise, that could feasibly be a jump in possibility comparable to the advent of Technicolor in 1914 or the 8-bit processor in 1972. All that is left is the pursuit of convenience, of like quickening the process. And in practice, that means the removal of steps, the removal of the process, and effectively the removal of the person. Why do we need an LLM you can prompt, make me a 2D Frogger-style video game with dogs instead of frogs, and the logs and the bogs are cogs, and the cogs are clogged, but they slog, and when dogs get soggy in the bog, they can't jog? You can already make that if you wanted to, or you could just play Frogger. If you don't have the passion and interest to pursue the learning and honing of skills necessary to make that game, that's fine. You can collaborate with someone who can, or you can pay someone to make it at your direction, or you can just not make it. Not everyone has to be able to do every single thing. That's okay. If you're not a video game developer and you don't want to be a video game developer, you don't need a tool that allows you to be a shittier version of a video game developer. I don't know what the purpose is. There isn't potential for advancement in these fields. The advancement is just replacing human effort. And I just fundamentally disagree with the value of replacing that. It just is a waste of time and effort, and it's literally only a harmful negative pursuit. Now, using AI as a research tool, using it in medical diagnostic data synthesis, or to simplify the process of cataloging sources and research, or to create a quiz you take to help you study for something, that's really cool and valid and great. The pursuit of using it for generation or execution of your ideas without having to hone the skills necessary to make those ideas happen is not. And that brings me to the final question. So, what? I work in education. I'm a middle school teacher, and every year, every single year, we are bombarded with new Edu apps, new programs that the county has purchased and wants us to use with students. And we go to these professional development camps, and we learn about the new program that is going to help our students learn. For example, in the 7 years that I've been teaching, instead of paying teachers a fair wage, the county in which I work has purchased licenses to No Red Ink, Newsella, IXL, iReady, Discovery Ed, Star Renaissance, Brain Pop, Edgenuity, StudySync, Progress Learning, Ed Puzzle, Flocabulary, Canva, Kami, Quizzes, Kahoot, Blookit, Vocabulary.com, Magic School, Explore Learning, Gizmos, Mystery Science, My Journey, Diffit, Sora. I literally could keep going. And every year, I happily bring up the following concern to the chagrin of every wide-eyed higher-up in the county who didn't want to be a teacher anymore and instead went into the business of telling teachers what to do in the county office. Why do we have to do this? Why are we trying to replace human interaction and developing relationships with our students with sitting them in front of another computer screen and having it do it for us? And every time I ask this question, everyone, almost unanimously without exception in the room, agrees with me. And the answer is always the same. Look, I get your concern, but this is just the way the world is going. Like, they're going to need to know how to use this stuff because it's not going anywhere. And we just have to try to prepare them for a digital world. Something like that. And my response is this. To the State Department of Education, to the federal DOE, to the US government, to OpenAI and DeepSeek and Google and Meta, and to all of you watching this video, why do we not get to make a choice as to what world we want to live in? Are we so bored, so exhausted with our modern privilege that we will accept any version of the future we are given? We will eat whatever slop scooped onto our plate as long as it's a bigger scoop than China's or Russia's. How many piles of shit do we have to eat before we get tired of eating the same thing year after year? You, lying on your side in bed with your phone in your hand right now, eating chocolate-covered pretzels, watching me rant, have the power to be the change you wish to see. I'll tell you what, I am a hypocrite. A huge hypocrite. We all are. But I am a teacher, and I don't believe in or support the way that things are heading, so I don't follow directions. I don't use all these technologies with my students. I don't teach them how to use generative AI to help them write an essay. They don't sit in my classroom in silence with headphones on while someone else teaches them. I teach them. We talk to each other. I am doing the things that I wish to see other people do, and you can too. And you know what? There is precedent for non-adoption of innovation that we decided we didn't want. We don't make pot roasts in the microwave, right? Or more directly applicable to this, there is right now a bill in discussion in the House of Representatives regarding the strict regulation of self-driving trucks, intending to require for an, as of now, undetermined number of years, that regardless of necessity, all trucks in America continue to require a human driver aboard. There are laws already on the books in states across the country that already require manufacturers that don't even exist yet to have a staffed human remote operator for every hypothetical future self-driving vehicle on the road. These are just two examples of the ways in which there are efforts to mitigate the potential loss of jobs or displacement of workers in what is the biggest industry in 29 states across the country, trucking. All that we have to do regarding all of this stuff is become aware of the negative externalities before this stuff gets ahead of us, in the same way that we're doing with the self-driving trucks. We have the power to make these modern innovations more like the microwave. There is a place for them. There's a place for AI and procedural generation and self-driving vehicles and gene editing and all this crazy futuristic innovation. I use my microwave all the time. I just don't use it for a pot roast. Thank you for watching. See you next time. In today's post-video video, I'm actually going to share a compilation of my favorite cold opens from the videos I made on this channel years ago, because those videos will never see the light of day again, and I wanted to celebrate the progression of this channel and of some of my favorite little bits that no one would ever gotten to see again. So here we go. And yes, I used to look like that. You know, there was a time when, whatever, roll the clips. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Young Sock with Sandal. No, that sucks. It's your boy, person on the internet who is a normal person, aka Reed from Shameless Nerd. How you doing? What's up, everybody? It's your boy,
Zorkstrak the Elder, destroyer of Glorpus 9 and freer of the Axioms.
aka Reed from Shameless Nerd. How you doing? What's up, everybody? It's your boy,
Egg 30333311 reject maternity. God is coming 77777 egg. The end is near egg horns florp zapo tracks glorns florp zorp strength stag egg.
aka Reed from Shameless Nerd. How you doing? What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Dad. in like 2 days, but maybe even 1 day. We're about to have a child, aka Reed from Shameless Nerd. How you doing?
What's up, everybody? It's your boy. The one thing that has always bothered me the most about Taylor Swift's 2006 smash hit Our Song, and there are plenty of things about that song that bother me, but the one thing that bothers me the most, that I spend most of my time thinking about, which is a lot of the time, is that during the chorus, the lyrics read, "When we're on the phone and he talks real slow, 'cause it's late and his mama don't know." And now, at first glance, when you hear that, you're just thinking, well, yeah, it's young love and whatever, and they got to talk quietly because his mom's in the house, and they're not supposed to be talking on the phone or something. I don't know. But then, if you think about it, she says talk slow, and that makes no sense. Like if you're trying to be quiet, talking slowly makes no difference. If he was on the phone with Taylor, like, "Hey, babe, I'm so..." Like, that would do no good, right? And obviously, she can't fit the word quietly into, like, a one-syllable gap for that lyric or whatever. But she could just say low. She could say talks real low, and it makes sense. It fits the same. It's the same one-syllable spot, and it rhymes. It's the same thing. It makes no sense to me. And I've never heard anyone else bitch about that. Like, just treat it like it's completely normal. Like, that song won Grammys, and you're gonna and no one's gonna point that out. AKA Reed from Shameless Nerd. How you doing?
God, that's good. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the guy who just finished watching Arcane on Netflix, and that show is really, really good. I will say that I give it a 0 out of 10 stars, however, for the Imagine Dragons theme song. AKA Reed from Shameless Nerd. How you doing?
What's up, everybody? It's your boy.
I got this feeling in my gut, a visceral rumbling that something's coming up. It's time to move and change my name out in public. Yesterday I shit my pants.
AKA Reed from Shameless Nerd. How you doing? What's up, everybody? It's your boy. I could be whatever you want me to be. AKA Reed from Shameless Nerd. How you doing? What's up, everybody? It's your boy. Doctors hate him for this simple trick. You won't believe number 5. This man kills doctors. AKA Reed from Shameless Nerd. How you doing? What's up, everybody? It's your boy, that one guy from the subway that I saw that one time, and I wasn't sure if I recognized him, so I didn't say hi, but I think he saw me, and now that I realize it was him, I feel really bad for not waving. AKA Reed from Shameless Nerd. How you doing? GameCube games have been increasing in value like oil did when we were saving America.